Well, when I tell you, you're going to be goddamn pissed as hell when you find out that your Social Security, your 401ks, and your retirements, and all this other you think you're protected, they went to the Ukraine. So did Medicaid go to all the people they brought in to replace you because they'll work for 25 cents an hour. Hello? Welcome to communism. You better wake up.
All right, she literally needs no introduction, Roseanne Barr. Does anyone give you an introduction anymore? What would they even say to give you an introduction at this point? What would be the introduction you'd give yourself?
Well, I got my pronoun. I figured it out.
Yeah? What is it?
Chosen of God.
Wow.
So I just, would prefer people use my pronoun and just introduce me such.
Chosen of God, Roseanne Barr, ladies and gentlemen. Roseanne, it's great to see you. We were supposed to do this in person at your place in Austin, and my plans got a little screwy. But we used to hang in LA. We have both since left and fled that horrible communist place of California. What was the last straw for you?
Oh, there were so many. Well, I was living in Hawaii, too, a lot of times, so I wasn't all the way in LA. I just stopped off there when I flew someplace else, But I did have kids living there in LA. But then I came back to do the show that broke the camel's back, and I'm very proud of that. But Dave, remember when you used to come over to my studio there and you would say, should I leave that Chunk Hunger show? Remember, you'd say, I think he's a Jew hater and everything he says about Israel is a dirty, rotten lie. It's that new commie shit, that new communist rewriting of Jewish history in the Levant. And you said, but I don't have, I'm afraid. Remember that, Dave?
You hooked me up. I've said it a couple times publicly, but you fully hooked me up. When I left the Young Turks, you had a beautiful studio you were just using it for your own stuff, and you welcomed us there. And that's really where my show took off. So I owe a lot to Roseanne. I owe a lot to the chosen one.
Yes, you do, chosen by God. But you owe a lot to God.
I do.
Because I don't, that other stuff we did, that was just secondary. I always like to help a friend. But if you'll remember, and you probably don't because you're probably under MK Ultra Nazi mind control like all Americans. But we prayed, Dave. We prayed together.
We did a couple times.
It would be open for you to not have to, be in front of people who just, don't want us to be alive. And, because we can't be in that death cult because we're supposed to choose life, right? And then God did open a lot of doors for you. And so I hope that you are grateful for that and that you recognize that was God and you jumped, you jumped with no safety net, just faith. And look where it got you. I'm proud and happy for you.
Oh, well,
and your spouse.
Well, that's really nice here. We did pray a couple times. We also we smoked some of the funny stuff a couple times, and I think we had some of your moonshine a couple times, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not saying which order any of this was in.
Now, which was the moonshine I was having then? I can't remember.
I know
Did I have moonshine?
It came in a big jug, and we had it at about 10 a.m.
Oh yeah, that was some real ass moonshine that some of my fans cooked up. Well, that made you want to dance, didn't it?
Yeah, well, you had some serious spin moves. Have those moves been on camera? Your dancing spin moves?
No, because you remember that one time, I'm so sorry, I can't remember your spouse's name.
David. He's David also.
Oh yeah, I thought they're both named David, but then I said, no, they couldn't both be.
It's weird. It's weird.
Is named David in a marriage, but I guess God can do whatever he wants. So yeah, I thought his name was there. Okay, but y'all were over there at the studio and it was Shabbat and I said, hey y'all, do you want to watch me do my meditation poses? And you guys was really scared. My son came out.
I didn't know what you were going to do.
And we have that video and we just laugh. I was doing but you got to get the breath through all your body. So you got to do these weird poses. Yeah. But you guys were horrified. You're like, we're right in our choice to become gay or be born gay or whatever it is you do.
I didn't know what was going on over there. You'd come in, you'd light some candles, you'd dance around, you'd have some moonshine, you'd smoke a joint. But I have only great memories of the whole thing.
I have only great memories too. And every time I see you, I just smile because I love that you are a true American conservative and you get your voice because, they used to just use you to bounce off so they have somebody to call a racist.
And then I went full racist. So there you go. But you're considered conservative now too, which is hilarious because you literally, your history beyond your own personal history, you put when Roseanne was on air, maybe you'll remember what year was it that you had the first lesbian kiss on network television? What was that? Probably 92, something like that? 93?
92 or something like that, yeah.
So it was...
They threatened they wasn't going to show it, they pulled it. And I said, I don't think you're really going to want to do that. And, there was a whole write-in campaign. Oh, it was just, a big old scandal. And they did end up showing it. And you know what? They screened it in gay bars all over the country and people were cheering. But you know what I think now, David? I always took it upon myself to use my show to be a voice for the voiceless, The problem with giving a voice to the voiceless, they never shut the fuck up. They don't. They never know when it's time to shut the fuck up. Like when, you got equal rights and blah, blah. Okay, so now
exactly.
You're going to take it too fucking far like you always do. The left, hey, are we allowed to swear on your show?
Go nuts. Go nuts.
Okay. They can't ever be happy with what they got, even though it's a miracle they got it, because they got to please their masters, which require them to be fodder for fundraising. And all that fundraising, it don't go to none of the people. It goes to the master's pocket. They're slaves and they're idiots. And I'm tired of them. And I just want to tell them exactly what they're doing in a voice they have learned to listen to, or say, fuck you too. I don't give a shit. It's going in anyway, or don't listen. Listen or ignore me at your own peril. I don't give a shit anymore.
When did you realize that they never stopped, that there's never too far there? Because for me, when the gays got marriage, it was supposed to wrap up. We got equality, we're good. But then overnight, it flipped into let's chop genitals off kids. They just don't. When did you first see that?
No, it did not start there, David. I had a lot of friends who were university professors. They were the F word feminists who taught women's history in basically Jesuit universities. That was the first chop. And they had to deny them tenure and kick them off the universities because they refused to include trans theory in their classes. So they got rid of all the women. And when I saw who's doing what and how they're positioning groups of people against their own better interests, they're dividing everybody to have two groups, an internal enemy and the regular dumbass people that are too busy to, not listen to CNN. But it has always started that way because they always get a foot in the door. And this is what Stalinist communists do. And I remember way back when we used to be writing Jewish people, we used to write all these letters to the Soviet Union to free the Jews that they held as, third-class citizens, or else they put them in mental institutions or in camps because, they wanted to be Jews.
Yeah. Refuseniks, I think they were called.
Some of them were Refuseniks.
Yeah.
And some of them were just Jews that wanted to be Jews that practiced Judaism. And So a lot of them went to Israel, and a lot of them came here. A lot of them went to France. A lot of them went to, various countries all over the world. And it never takes anybody by surprise. It's that they ignore the little things. Like with Hitler, the first thing he did was say Jews have to have special permission to get phone numbers. And, everybody goes, oh, what does that matter? It's incremental steps to destroy a nation and a people's laws of self-protection. So, it's just little steps.
So where are we at if this is just little steps to destruction? Like, are we 3 steps away? How close are we, like, in this weird moment that we're in right now?
Are you serious?
Yeah, why not?
Well, they just tried to kill the leading contender for president of the United States. Somebody. And under the constant news barrage, I say the news is to disguise the news.
Yeah.
But under that huge barrage of news, the other president disappeared. Hello?
Yeah, as we're recording this right now, he has not been seen for about 6 days and wrote a letter on non-White House letterhead.
Journalists, responsible journalists, not, those we see on television. We don't see any on the networks with any integrity. Or they don't give a shit if how many people die. I don't know how they can look themselves in the mirror. I don't know how. Do you?
I don't. They call that, our friend Michael Malice, he helped popularize that NPC meme, the non-playable character. And that's kind of what they are. They are programmed a certain way. They can't see out of their cave, and they just do repetitive nonsense over and over and just deny reality. It's crazy.
Well, he also coined the phrase that they're awfuls, affluent, white, triggered females, liberals, female liberals. And they all, when that's the Karens, and when you watch them, when I watched them, like, they act just like the ladies on The View when they have somebody on that they don't agree with. There's all that sassy head shaking and calling them names and pointing them down and not listening. They're training the viewers of The View how to act, and they are awfuls. That's their viewership, are affluent, white, feminist, or whatever they're calling themselves, trans.
Yeah.
Fucking lunatics. They're friggin' lunatics.
Basically, I think you got it there. Do you think you could have gone the other way had you maybe not had kids? Obviously you've been married a couple of times. You have kids. I know a couple of your kids that, you mentioned feminism before, but, a lot of middle-aged female comics who are single.
How dare you call me a middle-aged female comic?
You're a young lady as far as I'm concerned, but I'm talking about.
I'm a male comic.
You are
baby.
you are. I'll let you expose yourself in any way you would.
I'm boy and girl.
Yeah. You're a little of everything. Well, you had multiple personalities at one time, right? Or at least something kind of.
I still got them, but they're all on the same team now.
Oh, that's got to be refreshing. But do you think you would have went the other way, sort of politically?
There's 20 other ways I could have gone.
Well, when people see all these female, you're talking about the harpies of The View, but there's a lot of sort of middle-aged female comics who never got married, never had kids, like, say, a Chelsea Handler, Sarah Silverman, whoever it is.
Oh, you mean the lesbian witches?
Yeah.
It's all run by the lesbian communist witches. Marx was he was a devil worshiper. He dedicated his book to Lucifer. They're the Luciferians, and they're all witches. I'm saying, because I was there. I wrote the Green New Deal, stupid asses. That was my campaign
When you-
platform when I ran for socialist president, you thieves.
We were friends I went to some campaign events with you back then.
Yeah, they just stole my fucking Green New Deal and fucked it up like they fucked up my show with their liberal horse shit.
That must
Anyway.
Are you pissed about the show? Are you, they brought the show back. It was actually funny, which it's impossible to make a funny sitcom these days. They're so stiff and stilted and everything else. And I remember
you tried to make it funny too. What with all those fucking, oh my God, it was nothing but wall to wall BLM. And they hate the Jews. And let's be real, they hate Jews. They think white people, that's their code word for Jews. They're nothing but bigots. They're big on the big Democrat yank too, taking all that money that should have gone to, black kids bettering their education or something for them, those billions. But hell no, they're in on the yank. Fuck yeah, they're all in on the yank. Everybody who's a leader of anything is in on the yank. Otherwise, they wouldn't be no leader. And they're blackmailed too. That's how you get jumped into the fucking gang. And it is a gang and it is a mafia and you ain't in it. You're the prey, you dumb fox. You better wake up. I'm sick of your shit. Go clean your room.
That was half George Carlin, half Jordan Peterson, half Roseanne Barr right there. There was a little of every. No, because you said a lot.
It's a little Alex Jones too.
And a little Alex Jones. That was 4 halves. It was a lot. But did you think the show was when the show took off, so they bring back Roseanne, obviously. You kind of said that the last season of the original Roseanne didn't exist. You guys reboot it. You're now coming back in this crazy woke universe. I remember the night that you tweeted. Yeah.
Woke for the wrong reason, because I would like to talk about how many awards I won for the humanities and against racism and for immigration of Arabs. And I won every award you could get. There was nothing more progressive than my show.
No, that was the point of the original show. You were fighting for the working man.
Also fairly balanced. And it didn't make the other half of the country into buffoons that you could hate and raise funds against. Because I'm not I'm not full of shit. And you know what? I'm not going straight to hell and burning there in the lake of fire for time and all eternity. Neither.
So did you realize that it wasn't going to end well, knowing that you were going right back into the system?
Yeah, in fact, that's my new act, kind of, because I was like just happy there smoking Dakine Pakalolo with my bras over there at trying to Kamina the Ina. And
you were happy. You didn't need to go back. I mean, I smoked some of your stuff, and I'm not a pro like you, but I mean, you had me completely retarded, if I can say, and yet you still went back into the machine.
Well, you just are more of what you are, so don't say you became retarded. But anyway, what I became was like even more like loving to think of possibilities and jokes. I get a million jokes. None of them make sense in the end, except for me. But a lot of jokes I'll write for God, because he's funny. And he'll get them, and he'll give me a lot of jokes too. Like the whole world, sometimes I feel like, oh, he's just letting it go like this so I don't have to work hard to write a joke, which I really do appreciate. And that's why I feel chosen, because the jokes just write themselves. But anyways, there I was in Hawaii, and I kind of got this God feeling like, hey, you got to do this because your country needs you or something. It's always mattered to me that they don't, because I know how commies work, because, my parents and grandparents escaped commies to come here. Because we know where it always ends with blood, because commies crave blood. That's why their flag's red. They love to foment and turn people against each other while they pocket everybody's money. Because, they always say capitalism is a pyramid scheme. And they always talk about, a broad foundation. Marx talked about this with the tippy top of the rulers. Well, Marx was actually a capitalist when you really break it all down. And what he did was just invert that pyramid so that it will implode. See what I'm saying? Too much socialism makes the bubble burst.
Right.
And when the bubble bursts,
Then
the
people,
worst of the worst, the vampires move in. And that's what it's for. It's all the same fucking yank. And the people are not getting any of it. A few people are. The ones who are getting the money are the ones who tell everybody to be on the left. Some of them get paid to say be on the far right, because the far right and the far left, there's where all the money meets. All the money.
And yet, here you are now loved by people on the right, which was kind of ironic considering where it...
hate me. Yeah, they'll probably hate me again because I'm not going to go. I'm not a joiner. I only do what God wants me to do. I don't do what other people say, obviously. And I never keep my mouth shut, even if it ruins my whole fucking life, unfortunately, because I'm just made like that. And if he puts it in my head, I'm going to do it. And I guess I don't care. I'm 72. What do I give a shit at this point after all I've been through?
Do you have any part of you that can control the voice? Actually, I remember once, I don't know if you remember this, we were in your office and we were on a call with some network guy and they were maybe going to offer you something and he was just sort of bullshitting and we were on speakerphone. And I remember the way you grabbed the phone when you were just done listening to his nonsense and you just went off on the guy. And I was like, wow, that was really awesome, actually, because it was just sort of like bullshit network talk and you just leveled it.
What did I say?
Well, you just went off on him like, I'm Roseanne Barr and I don't need this bullshit and I got plenty of money and you guys, you're just talking in circles and I don't want to rev share. But it was just like, you were just listening and the next thing I know, you kind of went off on the guy. But you were right, is my point. That there was something in you that was kind of holding back and then you just cracked and went for it.
Well, I don't know why they even call me to hire me. The first thing they say is, hey, we don't want you to be you. Are you in?
Right.
And they don't think I get that. They don't think I hear it or something. But I think it's because I'm a woman, Dave, because, so many men in Hollywood, they just hate women. And let's be real, they just look down on us and they think, unless we fill their stereotype, but they just think we're cows that talk. They go, goddamn, look at that cow. It's moving its lips. And words are coming out. I don't know what they really are, but who's ever thought of a talking cow?
That's something.
Look at that. That's how they talk to you.
So
it's so discouraging. I don't want no part of it. I just can't. But anyway, God comes in there. He goes, go back. So I get on the phone. Everybody tells me this time it's going to be different, specifically Sara Gilbert. I got your back. I go, because I can't go through the gauntlet. I can't I can't justify. I can't, just let me be me. Just let me do the thing I do.
Yeah.
Oh, I got your back. I'll protect you with my life. You can count on it. I said, well, what if and I said at the beginning, what if I do something obviously that, causes a problem? Well, you have 24 hours to cure it. That was in my contract. Okay, anyway, what I got to say is, look what they're doing. I mean, they're on some other planet. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. Because when I tried to do a gay kiss over there, they were appalled. I don't know, maybe but then the next thing you know, everything has to be gay, 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 gay. No straight man, no white man, no.
Right.
What are you doing? But you know what I think it is too? Bigots never know they're bigots, do they? Never. They think it's those people's fault. It's just how it works. It's hilarious, actually.
So basically, you go in the first time around, and people that don't remember this, or for my audience that's younger that didn't watch it originally, like you were constantly fighting with the executives and with the writers.
Same one.
Right. So then now
I'm
it's
so stupid. God's like, well, I blame God actually. But I thought I need to correct the mistakes I made, because maybe I wasn't always respectful. Maybe I wasn't always blah, blah, I'll correct my karma,
Oh, interesting. Wait, so that's partly why you wanted to do the show?
chance. Yeah.
Wow.
And also, more than anything, I don't like segregation. And I saw that what they were doing was trying to segregate people and then make them proud, which is just, come on, that's tribal war in the making. And I wasn't going to see none of it, because my family, as Jews, they had enough tribal war. Believe me, we've had enough of it. And we don't want it here in America, a constitutional republic that guarantees, freedom of religion. No, we don't want that here. Excuse me. So I felt in many ways that I could do it, because I wanted to show a fully integrated American family, because the fact is that working class America is the integrated people. Certainly not them ones up there. They live behind gates, and the only time they see people of color is, when they have people come to work for them.
Right, the landscaper.
Or whoever, depends. They're bankers. I don't know, but they don't have them at their parties or at anything meaningful, because I was there and it always bothered me. And I thought, this is not the way to go. This ain't America, and maybe it is. I don't know. You have the right to be with your people when you want to be just with your people. Everybody has that right, but not always, and to the continual exclusion of everybody else. We have to live together, if we want to, or will. What did he say, Benjamin Franklin? If we don't stand together, we'll hang together. So, I went back and I wanted to show, because, some people say, don't say African American anymore. Some Black people say that. Just say, I'm a proud Black American. That's what they tell me. I can't speak for any of them, but whatever. I do have a Black godson that I've raised with my son since they were real little, like 2 years old, and I love his family, and they've been in my life, and I care for them. So I wanted to show what I had gleaned from having that relationship, because it was very meaningful to me. And, I don't want to say his name because he's a stockbroker, but, it's so hilarious, because he was the only one of my kids that got into the Jewish school. I love that. But, because he had the only one with grades. But anyway, it taught me a lot about, assumptions, not, I don't even call it prejudice anymore, because everybody's prejudiced, but assumptions we make about other people when we don't even know them. That's just like to every human you meet, no matter their color. You already got that. What are you doing, But anyway, so, I wanted to do that, and I went back, and I picked the writers and, the producers and stuff, and I picked people I'd worked with before that I thought cared about the product, because the first time around, they didn't give a shit about the product. They only cared about getting me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was scary. But
right, because first time around, you're just a stand-up comic who's blowing up after the Tonight Show, and it's just like, let's just build something around her. This time around, you're Roseanne Barr.
And it was a cow that talked that didn't go to Harvard. And she's fat. And she has a dirty mouth, and, she's a dirty nightclub comic.
Right, but this time it was...
she comes from a trailer court. It's all those lovely things that they assume about somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even know what you can do or nothing. And then when you can do it, they get even more mad. That's what I found out.
So so you come in, now you have your own people. It becomes so this is around 2013, I think. It becomes the #1 sitcom in America. We're talking about the reboot, obviously, of Roseanne. And then one night, I literally remember being on my couch, seeing your tweet, and all hell breaks loose. What was that night like?
Well, it was Memorial Day, and so I was having a couple beers for our fallen heroes, like everybody in America. And I had more than a couple, I guess. I had quite a few beers for our fallen heroes, as I do 365 days a year.
A true patriot.
A true patriot. And then I mix it with Ambien, drug of the devil. And I never have been on that since then. But, one time I tried to bake a cake on Ambien and I cracked an egg on the wall. Which I found the next day. While I was asleep. But anyway, so, see, I'm always conversing in my mind with God. The problem is that he answers. That's why I've always been locked up. But now I'm 72 and I just did this ketamine treatment and it showed me I really was talking to God and I still am. They just can't handle that I do. But I'm not going to apologize for it anymore or let them cut parts of my brains out or drug me or nothing. I'm just going to do it. So God woke me up and he's like, hey, Roseanne, check out this meme. Oh, he has a Jamaican accent too, but I don't do it too well yet. I'm practicing. He's like, Roseanne, look at this meme. And,
That sounded a little more Arabic.
I know. And they end up all sounding Lithuanian like my grandma. So I can only do one accent, but it also sounds Chicano because I was in love with the neighbor boy.
So God has a Jamaican Lithuanian accent. Got it.
Kind of, yeah. His own way. But he's like, look at this meme. Maybe he sounds like me. Look at this here meme. And I looked at it and it was a meme that I was startled by. And God says, write this down exactly as I tell you. So I thought I did. But looking back, I may have jarbled it up a bit.
Oh, so that wasn't.
It was a picture of I basically racially misgendered someone I assumed to be white. But I'll tell you what, it was a picture of her next to a picture of I can't remember her name, Helena Bonham Carter in full makeup for my favorite movie, Planet of the Apes. Now, I just have to say, what with my eyesight and my debased condition and such, okay. But to me, they look like two peas in a pod, like total twins, like Xerox copies, like, doppelgangers, like identical to the haircut, and so I thought it was a white woman and such. And so I thought, hey, here's a good way to talk about the bullshit Iran deal of Valerie Jarrett, which is just like Planet of the Apes, the movie, which is just about arresting all the citizens that know how to read and everything they did, the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt and Iran, and they're doing it here now. And so I was like, yeah, look. And, because I was in the middle of a 3-month conversation with journalists in Iran. And, first thing I get, my boyfriend comes in, he goes, hey, ABC's on the phone. And I says, why? I mean, they're always calling me all the time. Like the one time that there's a picture of David Hogg with his hand outstretched and a black armband. And I go, look at that. Looks like a Hitler Youth. And then ABC called me and goes, could you please take that down? Because they were monitoring me. That anything I said that wasn't libtard, was a threat to their democracy of no democracy. So I would take it down because, so they called me and I'm like, they're going to, but I had already deleted it because like after I thought about it, I was like, don't say Muslim Brotherhood with Valerie Jarrett because I knew that was just some heavy duty shit that I wouldn't have did if I wasn't drunk. And so I deleted it. Okay, ABC calls in the morning. Boyfriend comes in. He goes, ABC's called and you're all over the news. I'm like, why? Goes, oh, because that was a racist tweet. And I swear to God.
Yes.
I said, Muslim is not I would still have vestigial libtard in me. So I was all up my ass, like Muslim is not a race to the world. And he goes, no, she's black. I'm like, huh? Oh, shit.
Because the implication was that you thought that this black woman looked like a monkey. Like,
well, that's what ABC said.
Yeah.
Although I had 24 hours in my contract to cure anything that was awry or a mistake I'd made. I said, hey, why don't you let me go on Jimmy Kimmel or The View? They've both done blackface. And you didn't do shit about that. Let me go on there and explain and apologize. Because canceled my show within 20 minutes. And then they refused to allow me to come on any of their shows. But the very next day, they just called me a racist and called me a racist tweet. Because in their mind, whenever they see, this is what's so sick. I never used the word monkey. They did.
Yeah.
I mean, because they are that racist, and I know it because I was fighting them the whole time I was on TV to have black writers, a black crew, because that mattered to me.
But it was also what you did on camera. It's also what you did on the show. So it was both ways.
Well, yeah, they had to diminish that because I had to be. I mean, looking at the left now, and this is why I left the left after I saw how mind controlled they are. They're just mind controlled. Also when I ran as president and I got, I'm pretty cute and people liked me at certain times. And if I get a few drinks in somebody, they'll tell me the truth. If I ask the right questions, people will always tell me the truth. And I do ask the right questions at the right time, and I always get the truth. And the truth is in funding. Who funds what? Who's the donors of what? Who are the donors? They say follow the money, but they never follow the money to the donors. And that's imperative that we do that. Because you can't allow people who don't have your right to live, donate to the party you vote for. Come on. That's my line. They got the chickens voting for Colonel Sanders. Everybody's stealing that line. I wish I could get $1 for all the politicians that have said that one in the last 5 years. But it's true.
So do you think that basically that thing happened, the show, the number one show, I think it was the number one show on television, maybe not even the number one show, maybe not even just the number one sitcom, but number one show, certainly on ABC. Do you think that it was basically
they were 28 million viewers?
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay. It's insane.
That's like the biggest show in 15 years. Okay, anyway, but the first day when I was in the room with the writers was a huge wake-up call for me, and I was like, oh, fuck, this is just not, okay? All Trump hate, 100% Trump hating.
So that's what I was going to ask.
Huh? Because it was Hillary. It's Hillary. Like demons, man. They couldn't even hear. And of course, they trained that all on me because how dare you? The look I got just walking in was demonic.
So do you think that's
And
what
I
really?
know why.
Yeah.
I knew why. And they want to write lovingly for the people who are those filthy, unwashed working people that like Trump. You're going to write about those people. I think, we'll see about that. So I had to bend, twist, and I was happy to do it because I had God with me, so I didn't really need too much from them. But they did do good many times. Many times they didn't. Many times they couldn't. But it all worked out. But then here was the shit. The first time they had us go meet the press, it was a gauntlet. It was a gauntlet of one black person after another standing up and saying, Roseanne, how could you? You were always for civil rights. You were for women, taking everything that I gave up my nervous system to do. Used to be pro-gay. I was staring at him, because I knew it was coming, but I couldn't believe it. The first time, and they said, and now how you've thrown all your support to a racist. And Sara Gilbert, of course, is the one that said, don't say anything. So first time I didn't say nothing. I just was cool, like Marianne Williams there. I know her. She's cool. I saw her do it once. Somebody attacked her and she goes, thank you for your opinion. Next, which I admired. So I said that. Well, the second time it was, how could you do another black person saying the same thing? Like not even asking about the show or nothing.
Right, right.
And so like by about the fourth time in a row, but it got up to 5 or 6 or 7, I can't remember. I was like, where's ABC? This is their press conference for their new show. Where are they? And because that's what's going to go out in the press is Roseanne had no answer when asked why she supports a race for my show. So I said, where are they? And so she says, don't say anything. Don't say anything. And so I just got really, I turned into a how do they call us? Pushy, bitter, mean old Jew. As is my right at times. And so I said to her, they're not asking you no shit, so why don't you shut your fucking mouth? And then I said, I don't like that you're calling me a racist when the fact is the reason I don't like Hillary Clinton is because what she did in Haiti. Would you like to discuss that further? And, then ABC came in and stopped. That's when they stopped it. And they kick me off all the time wherever I go because they despise the truth. Like I was going on all these pro-Palestinian Gaza where they hold up the kids, where all the dead children, and putting on there as my comment. Of course, I got banned for this too. I've been kicked off of Twitter 900 times because I got fake accounts. Now I can't even get back on there if I buy 2 new computers. Anyway, so I go on there and I go, what a shame you didn't put those children in the tunnels that worldwide aid paid for. Why don't you do that? Why don't you put those children in the tunnels where they're safe? Why don't you do that? Oh my God. So YouTube kicked me off of TikTok, kicked me off of demonetized, because you cannot have free speech in this country if it says anything about the overthrow of our government, the coup, the endless fucking communist coup of our government, and the weaponization of our government through the far left who controls our government. Hello? You want to be in a commie country? Is that what you want? Well, enjoy it. I don't. Do you?
I'm fighting as hard as I can over here.
Well, goddamn it, these people, just because you think you're going to keep getting your, your benefits and whatever else they bullshitted you into thinking you're going to get. Most people who vote Democrat are employed by the government. That's the truth. Well, when I tell you, you're going to be goddamn pissed as hell when you find out that your Social Security, your 401ks, and your retirements, and all this other shit you think you're protecting, they went to the Ukraine. So did Medicaid go to all the people they brought in to replace you because they'll work for 25 cents an hour. Hello? Welcome to communism. You better wake up.
You think there's anything we can do to stop it? I mean, do you think it's here? Like, are we just in it now? We're just kind of in like the Frankenstein version of the end of capitalism, something like that?
Where's the president? Where's the army when we're being invaded? How come nobody's getting arrested, but all the rapists are getting let out of prison? Well, because rape and terror are one way of causing chaos and ruining a community, a state. You dishearten people, you destroy them. That's what commies do. Remember Mao? Remember, like, what he killed? 50 million farmers, raping them all. Remember Vietnam? Remember the Viet Cong? Remember all that? Hello? Remember Stalin killing all the Jews more than Hitler? Remember that? Remember Hitler? He was one too. He just put the word nationalism in front of it. You better wake up and ignore me at your peril. Listen, I'm old. I won't be around here for much longer. And believe me, I have no desire to prolong my life amongst y'all. So I'm going to do what I have to do as fast as I can. And, God wants me to wake up the libtards. And I'm not giving up on you. I raised most of your ass. And I'm not giving up on you. Snap out of it. I'm telling you. I love him. I can't let him be lost to the devil. And that's who's coming for him. So I just pray for him like I don't have no tomorrow. I pray for all the people that's on the wrong road. It's so simple to be on the right one. I don't care who you are. It isn't up to me to say what's a sin and what isn't a sin. Keep your fucking mouth shut. You don't have the right to say what's a sin and what isn't a sin. If it's in the book, read it. Shut the fuck up. You don't speak for God. Fix yourself. You got a lot of shit to fix yourself with. That'll keep you busy for the rest of your life. Trust me, I know. It takes your whole life to fix your own broken down ass. It does. Every minute. It takes every minute of your life to fix yourself. And to have the courage to say, I am so sorry to those around you you've harmed, even to be conscious of doing so, but to apologize and make it right. And even more, to ask God to forgive you for when you, went astray or made a mistake or didn't say it right. For me, I never say it right, but sometimes you can't say it right, or there's no other way to say it. I don't know. I just have to say it, Dave. I don't care if anybody listens at this point, but
they are listening. They are listening. You've had this whole other career then because of this. That has nothing to do with doing a sitcom in that little box.
Well, I tried to tell people when I came back, we have to stick together, help each other, divest ourselves of our pre-assumptions over other people and their differences. We have to celebrate what's the same in us, because it's all the same shit. We just want good places for our kids to grow up and good schools. We don't, all that other stuff is superfluous, and we'll take care of that after we get the public's money under audit and control by the public and the public's servants. And we have none of that thanks to the Democrats. The Democrats are the ones who opposed every single civil rights law that ever was invented in this country. They don't like individual rights. They're hive mind. They don't like individual rights. They only like group think. They don't like individuals who will strive, who are gifted, who have talent. They hate you. They're just all hate. And people who create and people who want to reach people and inspire them, hate don't make you like that. That's love that makes you like that. The gift that God gives you, he gives you out of love because he knows you care about sending out love. He's not going to help you with no hate. Even rappers that sound hateful, it's got a loving message under it. Hello, art is love. God. Anyway, they're trying to make me do a new sitcom, Dave. And I'm like, oh no, Lord, don't make me do that.
Yeah, here we go again.
Could be 72.
Roseanne.
But I did write it. So I'll see. I don't want to though. I wish some other old lady could do it.
Who could do it? Who could be you? There's no who. Impossible.
I always try to find an actress I think could do it. I think Monique could do it. I told her that. I think she could. She's a badass, man. I don't know. Well, I see you're done with me. Hey, thanks for letting me ramble off like some fucking crazy old bitter Jew, which I am.
I'm
only bitter because it could be so much better in the blink of an eye. All you have to do is decide that. Right, Dave?
Roseanne, I love you.
I want to go on y'all's honeymoon or whatever it is.
You want to come with us off the grid? I'm going to text you. I'll tell you where we're going. Maybe you could just show up.
You need to come to Hawaii and see Off the Grid. I want to have fun there too.
I want.
I love you. Nice to see you. Be back in touch.
We'll do this. We'll do this in person at your place. But for real, you were a piece of my adventure along the way, and it worked. And so everything.
I'm still here.
And you're still here. And you're still here. So maybe I'm a piece of your adventure too, huh?
Now you are. Now you are like the pilot. Hello.
All right. We're going to have some macadamia nuts in Hawaii.
All right, kiddo.
And some moonshine in Austin.
We're always drinking, baby.
All right. Love you, Roseanne. Thank you. If you want more comedy in your life, check out our comedy playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist, all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.